Paradox is genius, and it's because it has managed to build an empire of strategy games unlike any other. And if you can believe it, a range of games that do not relieve each other, but that live independently in parallel. This, believe it or not, is a revolution in gaming. With EU5 releasing in November, Victoria 3 receiving updates that meaningfully improve the game, Crusader Kings 3 adding just about the entirety of Asia to its already massive medieval map later this year, Stellaris receiving update after update which expands an already massive universe, Hearts of Iron 4 keeping absolutely astronomical levels of player numbers, Age of Wonders 4 continuing to bring unique expansions to its 4X fantasy foundations, and Cities Skylines 2, to be honest I don't really know what's going on over there, Paradox Interactive has done something few other strategy publishers have managed. It has created a sustainable model for complex and long-lasting strategy games. Cause let me tell you, this model seems almost like an impossible utopian dream for another series that's close to my heart, the Total War series. That series has also featured the Roman era, the medieval period, the imperial one, even made its way up to the Victorian period, although specifically situated in Japan, and as of more recently, traveled all the way back to the Bronze Age and the Trojan War. Indeed, looking at the Age of Empire series, another set of iconic strategy games, we also have a mythological Bronze Era type game, a Roman one, a medieval one, and a game covering the age of colonial empires. Or what about Civilization? That series covers all of these time periods and more in one single game, albeit in a different way of course. But the main difference, and which I suspect Paradoxians might be taking for granted, is that almost every major Paradox game remains relevant, both gameplay-wise and commercially, and that they live and expand alongside each other at the same time. Think about it. Development on Rome Total War ended when Medieval 2 came out, which was relieved by Empire, which was relieved by Napoleon, which was relieved by Shogun 2, which was relieved by Rome 2, which was relieved by Attila, and I could go on, bro. But you're probably tired of me saying relieved by now. And I mean, it is quite incredible when you think about it. If you love deep strategy games and you enjoy Paradox's approach to them, not just every single year, but every single quarter, has your favorite games bringing ever more content and free updates for you to feast upon, virtually no matter the historical epoch you'd like to dive into. You can love CK3 and wait for new expansions, you can also love Stellaris and play that, while you jump over to Victoria 3 now and then, and return to Hearts of Iron 4 when it suits you, because they're all supported simultaneously. This is fairly new, mind you, but it's been a process in the works for at least a decade. So to set the scene, let me just paint you a little picture of the diversity that's on offer here. 2019 sees the release of Imperator Rome, and even though the game itself will lose official support 2 years later, the game is left in a mostly fantastic state. As such, Paradox covers the Roman Republican era on a map spanning the entirety of the classical ancient world. But don't fret, due to Paradox's open model for modding, the game continues to receive DLC-like updates even today with mods like Imperator Invictus and Terra Indomita, the latter even expanding the timeline and the map all the way to China and Japan, making for a classical Imperial campaign like no other. Crusader Kings 3 released in 2020, but has in the past 5 years received game-changing mechanics and improvements. And again, the mods keep players coming back, always knowing that there's more to see. If you're interested in a somewhat more modern period, Victoria 3 released in 2022 keeps on receiving game-changing expansions accompanied by free updates, also with a vibrant modding scene. These 3 past games only released 2 years apart each time, and remember, even at this point, Paradox had both Hearts of Iron 4 and Stellaris running simultaneously, both releasing in the summer of 2016. EU4 just recently ended its official support basically, because EU5 is coming in as the next behemoth in the Paradox lineup, and whether you like this or not, already has a serious expansion army ready to go for the next year. What I'm trying to say is that this is seriously impressive, especially coming from a company that deals with some of the most complex and niche genres in the gaming world, namely grand strategy games. But somehow, Paradox has managed to corner that market, focusing less on the flashy and the visual, although that's taken a major step forward in the past years, but diving into the gameplay aspects that seem to capture the hearts of the players, namely that of roleplay, opportunity, and the possibility of virtually infinite replayability. Now, the model of supporting games over time is not unique, of course. In some ways, it is the live service model, and there are major things to criticize about it. First and foremost, that no game feels truly complete even though you've purchased the main game. I mean, playing Europa Universalis 4 in 2025 is going to feel radically different if you play it without DLC as opposed to with everything enabled. And truth be told, due to the nature of the strategy, this goes for every single Paradox game. While the upsides are many because you get to essentially invest in a product that will almost certainly become much better over not just months, but years, and that when you factor in price per minute of gameplay, the proposition is potentially insanely good, it has a few downsides. A live service model like the one Paradox employs does inevitably mean that you not only pay the entry price of the game, but that you every now and then, in order to keep up with the new content, have to, in most cases, essentially pay for a full new game every year, since I think on average, each DLC costs about 1/3 of the game's full price, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. If you then play more than one Paradox game, that cost will of course rise somewhat. In addition, it can also come with the feeling that Paradox games may only truly find their footing about 2 or 3 years into a game's life cycle, and having newly released titles feel as though they're lacking in content compared to older numbered ones. This is what happened with CK3 in my experience when compared to CK2, where the former has only managed to truly compare in the past year or two in my opinion. But imagine the opposite. I mean, have you ever really thought about the fact that you're playing Hearts of Iron 4? Or that you have been playing Europa Universalis 4 for 12 years? What about Victoria 3? Did you know that there was a Victoria 1? Or even a Crusader Kings 1 at one point? For many, the latest title is also probably their first. And if Paradox did, say, the Activision model, they could technically release a new full game every year or two, with incremental upgrades every time at full price. In that sense, I much prefer this live service model over the ones seen in other genres or from other publishers. And Paradox is the master in this regard, especially because it's not just the developer, but also its own publisher. And in terms of Age of Wonders 4 and City Skylines, it's branching out to other genres of strategy, not just grand strategy. However, there is a Paradox competitor on the horizon, if I may be so bold. In the past years, the indie publisher Hooded Horse has built up a library of strategy games, both released and upcoming, including titles like Manor Lords, Old World, Against the Storm, Endless Legend 2, Terra Invicta, Norland, Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and even potentially massive upcoming titles like Espiocracy, Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, Falling Frontier, and Gilded Destiny. I don't know if you can tell, but many of these titles are in direct competition with the core Paradox catalog. Now the main difference is of course that while Hooded Horse is about a publisher, the Paradox Grand Strategy lineup follows a certain Paradox DNA without being completely similar. This means that Hooded Horse's games, which are developed by a host of different developers, will likely feel very different from each other. This does make each release a bit more risky perhaps, but also has the potential to create a strategy lineup for Hooded Horse that feels truly unique and vibrant. At any rate, while Hooded Horse's publisher-only position does make it different from Paradox's somewhat dual nature, I do believe Hooded Horse is setting itself up for long-term strategy success here, and might one day even rival Paradox in becoming the most influential strategy publisher in the world. Regardless of what might be, I wanted to make this video to point out what I feel like is an underrated side to Paradox's strategy adventure. The fact that it manages to offer so many different experiences all at once, and that its varied offerings do not supplant each other, but instead are allowed to thrive and inspire each other in parallel. This, I think, is what has created such a strong connection between Paradox and the community, who eagerly follow dev diaries, have strong opinions on its games, and who return to the various titles to try out both new DLC and amazing mods. But what do you think? Do you like Paradox's model of long-lasting games with free updates and DLCs? Or would you prefer new games in the same series every year or two? And what do you think about the advent of Hooded Horse? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!